Hi everyone, and welcome to the second edition of the GA Preplay Quarantine Edition. All basketball fans, this is the episode for you as we'll be discussing the latest news from Mitchell and Flynn's decision to enter the draft and the new grad transfers on the way. Our special guest today is someone who's been following the Aztecs and hasn't missed a game since the 7th grade. Joining me today is Devin Whately, one of the Daily Aztec sports writers and a dedicated member of the show. Devin, I know we have lots of basketball to talk about today, but how have you been recently?
Hey, Amber, I've been good. Thanks for having me on.
Well, I'm glad you're doing well, and let's get right to it. Arguably the biggest news in San Diego State basketball. Some saw it coming, but others were hopeful that he would return for another season. But Malachi Flynn has made his decision to enter the NBA draft. He announced this on April 17th. So what were your initial reactions to this news?
Look, I think it's the right decision, although I wish he could have stayed and had another amazing season at SDSU to get that March Madness run that the team was hoping for. I think he's in a great position to get drafted after the season that he had.
No doubt about that. Malachi is leaving as one of the most decorated Aztec basketball players in a single season in SDSU basketball history. That really says a lot about him when you've got guys like Kawhi Leonard, Jamal Franklin, and Xavier Thames up there too.
Right, and he's also leaving with lots of first-team recognition from different organizations, Mountain West Player of the Year, Consensus All-American, but most importantly, just an overall amazing season going 30-2. And I think he's just an overall great player across the board.
Yeah, people definitely saw that overall talent. Sports Illustrated has Flynn going in the first round as the 29th overall pick, so he definitely has a bright future ahead. So I want to just take a minute and talk about the pros and cons of this situation. So what kind of questions do you think went through Malachi's head as he was making this decision?
Well, for him, I definitely don't think it was an easy decision. It's hard to leave a place like San Diego State when you didn't get that NCAA tournament berth that you were hoping for. And Malachi had never been to the tournament during his college career. So I'm definitely sure he considered coming back to experience that moment.
I agree, and just the nature of the incomplete season that the Aztecs had weighs a lot on the decision. I think that playing on that big March Madness stage would bring Malachi even more exposure from NBA teams and scouts because at the tournament, all eyes are on you. And I also think just the environment at SDSU makes it hard to leave, from the coaching staff to the team dynamic and even the fans.
Yeah, definitely. And I think he considered all thoughts when he was making this decision. But overall, it's the right call. Look, now is the good time to enter the draft, especially with the uncertainty of sports due to the coronavirus. And he could risk the chance of not getting a full season this upcoming year.
Right. And I just want to touch on one more thing with Malachi. You were able to talk to one of his close family friends, David Jenkins Jr., his assistant coach at SDSU, Dave Velasquez, and his high school coach. So these guys have all spent more time with Malachi than a lot of people. So what did you learn about who Malachi is as a person, other than that we already know him as a great basketball player?
Well, Amber, on the court, Malachi is passionate and intelligent. You see it in how he plays. His high school coach saw talent in him at a young age, and he would always try to get his teammates involved before himself as a point guard. And Malachi's friend David mentioned to me that Malachi is willing to sacrifice whatever it takes for his team to win. When his team needs him to score, he can score. When his team needs him to make plays, he does that. He's driven to have himself and his team be successful.
Right, and he was always making plays. I think a perfect example of this was that buzzer beater early this season to win the game against San Jose State. I still can't believe I saw that with my own eyes, but I think that was a defining moment when the Aztecs knew that this guy is always going to rise to the occasion when they need him to make those big plays.
Definitely, Amber. And Malachi's an even more captivating person off the court. Those close to him think he's very loyal and genuine. He keeps his circle small, and it's because those people trusted him at a young age when others doubted him for his size at the point guard position. His high school coach described him as someone who's loyal to his family, his school, and his teammates. And he's also laid back and stays mostly focused on basketball. And I think Coach Velasquez said it best. He's a basketball nut.
Well, now Malachi will wait out the uncertainty of when exactly this draft is going to take place. Last week, the draft lottery was postponed with no new date announced, but Malachi is not the only one dealing with the uncertainty of the draft. Just a little over a week after Flynn's announcement, junior Matt Mitchell announced that he would also be testing out the NBA waters. He's doing so without an agent, so he can keep his college eligibility as long as he withdraws his name by June 3rd. So, Devin, what were your key takeaways from this decision? Because I know some Aztec fans were shocked by this one.
Look, I know some fans were shocked by it, but I personally wasn't surprised with this decision. He did a Twitter takeover a few weeks ago and mentioned how he was going to talk with his family and coaches to explore all of his options. And one takeaway from Matt's decision is that it represents how much he's developed as a player during his 3 years under Dutcher. He started 67 games during his freshman sophomore year, and then last offseason he lost 35 pounds and allowed him to be more explosive and conditioned during games, which led to him having more success on both ends of the floor this past season.
Right, and just talk about a great season in terms of the Aztecs as a team, going 30-2, and just Matt Mitchell's personal game overall. I think this is definitely a good time for Matt to explore the option of the NBA. He did share that he's using the opportunity to get some feedback on how he can continue improving in his game. So, Devin, what aspects of his game do you think he needs to work on in order to make it to the next level?
Well, look, Amber, I think Matt can definitely work on being more consistent in his offensive performance during games. I also think if he can improve on his ability to facilitate and become a better playmaker for his teammates, that'll suit him very well on the professional level.
Yeah, and Matt did share with the Union Tribune that he's more than likely coming back this upcoming season. And he's, like I said, looking for ways that he can take his game up to the next level. So he has just a little under a month left to withdraw his name to keep that eligibility. So we'll see what happens. But even if the Aztecs were to lose Mitchell and Flynn, there's still a lot of potential with this team. So, Devin, what do you see this team looking like next season?
Well, Amber, the Aztecs are old again in terms of the experience returning on the roster. You have Jordan Shackle and Adam Seiko being seniors. You get a healthy Nathan Mensah and a Guaca Robe. And then you have guys like Trey Pulliam and Kashad Johnson who will finally have a year acclimated with the program.
Right. Still lots of returners and older guys like Jordan Shackle to bring that leadership. Big news also came in the end of this past week that there is a new grad transfer on the way. He could be a Yanni Wetzel 2.0 in the making. So, Devin, what do you know about Joshua Tamayic?
Well, like Yanni, he did play tennis in high school before choosing basketball. Overall, he's a 6'10" grad transfer from Maryland. He's versatile in his offensive game, able to shoot the three, score inside, post up, and score in pick and roll situations. And defensively, he provides another big body inside, more competition for the Aztec bigs.
Right, and I think he's going to make a great addition for the Aztecs. He has the height that they need after losing Yanni and Nolan Narain and having Joel Mensah transfer to James Madison. He's not flashy by the numbers as he only started one game last season, but he is someone that Dutcher can mold into an important player just as he did with Yanni Wetzel. Now, the Aztecs do also have another grad transfer, Terrell Gomez, coming in from CSUN. How do you see him fitting into this team?
Well, Gomez was one of the most coveted players in the transfer market so far this offseason. He's a phenomenal three-point shooter, ranking 8th in the nation in three-point percentage of 44%. He also plays very well off the ball. He gets his teammates involved, and he's a relentless scorer on offense.
Yeah, at CSUN, Gomez had the chance to make history by becoming their all-time leading scorer. He currently was ranked 4th on the school's scoring list with 1,637 points. But for Gomez, winning is more important than scoring those points and breaking the record. So that's exactly why he decided to transfer to SDSU. And what a great place with the team that went 30-2 this past season. So I think there's definitely a lot to look forward to with the Aztecs this upcoming season.
Definitely, and we hope that everyone continues to stay safe and healthy so college basketball can return next season.
Yes, we are definitely thinking positive. Well, Devin, thank you so much for taking the time to come on and share all of your knowledge with us today.
Thanks for having me on today, Amber.
That wraps up all we have for today. Be sure to follow our social media accounts and subscribe to our YouTube channel for the latest updates from the DA Preplay. I'm Amber Salas for the Daily Aztec.